Hello terrestrial creature. Welcome to my Pythonic tutorial. My name is RPM264, but you can call me Luke. I come from the planet Python. I have escaped from my planet before it exploded due to overheating of the core. After weeks wandering in space, I bumped into your little planet. The air is fresh and water fall from the sky, really crazy little planet. I have never seen such a thing before. I like it here, however not many people understand my native language, Python. I will help you to get more fluent. To learn to speak a language, you need to express complex thoughts. In Python, you can express more complex ideas using data structures. I will show you the four most common data structures in Python. You will use these data structures all the time when talking in Python. Any beginner should be able to follow this lesson. Let's begin, my new terrestrial friend. In Python, there are basic data types like booleans, integers, floats and strings. You could think of these as atoms, then data structures are the molecules. We combine those basic pieces to create more complex data types. In Python, that is how we express our more complex thoughts. Data structures are really important if you want to learn to speak Python effectively. Your Python code will be optimal and faster. Using data structures, your code will be able to manipulate larger data sets, so you can start coding more interesting stuff. Plus we will have interesting conversations. I have included some little exercises that you can do, so you can practice and get fluent quicker. As you terrestrials say, practice makes perfect. Let's start with list and tuples. In Python, you can represent a sequence of items with two structures, list and tuples. Both are zero-based. Why are there two structures? The list is a changeable structure, meaning you can add, remove, modify, after creation. A tuple is an unchangeable or immutable data structure, so it can't be modified once you created it. Let's see what operations Python offers to work with data structures. Let's begin with the list. Let's create a list of ingredients. I will create a variable called ingredients, then equal brackets, and I will add all ingredients for my favorite terrestrial recipe, muffins. Oh, so yummy. If I say print ingredients, then you see all ingredients. We have our ingredient list. Let's access one of the ingredients. Let's say that we want the chocolate, that is ingredient number 0. Remember, list and all other data structures are zero-based. So we can say, print ingredients, and access number 0. If I wanted to know the number of ingredients, in other words, the length of the list, I will use the len method. So I will say print, len, ingredients, and I can run it now. It is gonna give us the amount of ingredients. What if I want to insert more ingredients? For instance, baking powder. I will use the append function. So I will say ingredients, append and baking powder. And then, print it. If we run it now, the baking powder was inserted last in the list. If we wanted to insert in a specific position, say position number 1, I can say ingredients, dot, insert, and the new ingredient, milk. If I run it, I can see milk was inserted in position number 1. If I want to change one of the ingredients, for instance, instead of butter, I would like to replace it with olive oil. I will say ingredients, brackets and 4, since butter is item number 4. Remember, zero-based. Then equals, and the replacement, which is olive oil.
Now,
if I wanted to delete one of the ingredients, for instance, I decide I don't want chocolate. Haha. That is not likely. Chocolate is my little guilty pleasure. Anyway, I will use the remove method. So I will say ingredients, dot, remove chocolate. You can pass here, the item to remove itself, or the index. To remove items from a list, I can also use the del method, so I will say, del, ingredients, and I will remove the sugar. If I run it, the sugar is gone now. Another way of removing is using the pop method, so I will say ingredients, dot, pop, and if I run it now, the last item is gone. If I wanted to iterate through the list, using a for loop, we can say, for, ingredient, in ingredients, colon, and then print every ingredient. And if I run it, we can see all ingredients in the list. There are more methods, feel free to check out the documentation. These are the really popular ones that you will find yourself using all the time. And as promised to my terrestrial human friend, one of my little fun exercises to practice. Make a list called colors, with 3 strings, green, blue, red and yellow. Then, try to remove any color that contains the letter O, and capitalize all elements in the list. The solution is in the description, in case you need some help. Now we are gonna move to tuples. Tuples are just the same as a list, but unchangeable, or immutable. That means when you try to assign elements to a tuple after creation, you will get an error. Let's see the operations Python supports when you are working with tuples. Let's begin with creating a tuple. I will continue with the ingredients example. So I will say ingredients, parenthesis. Tuples used parenthesis instead of brackets. Then sugar. Print ingredients. And I can see all the ingredients. If I want to access a single value, for instance, eggs, I will say print ingredients, brackets and 2. And I can see eggs was printed out. Another interesting thing about tuples. You can assign multiples variables at once. You can say, ingredient 1, ingredient 2, and ingredient 3, separated by commas, equals to ingredients. And if I print ingredient 2, and run it, I can see the butter. This is known as tuple unpacking. Another thing to know about tuples. If I want to create a tuple with just one value, I should add a comma. This is called trailing comma. So if I say ingredient 2 and sugar, and then I print the type, I can see the type is not tuple, but string. To create a tuple, I should add the comma. So if I say ingredient 2, sugar, and comma, and I run it, I can see the tuple now. You can also delete the whole tuple using the del method. So if I say del ingredients and print, I get an error because the ingredients 2 variable is not defined. That makes sense because I have deleted it before. All the other operations, insert, pop, are not supported because tuples are unchangeable. That covers the most used tuple methods. Now we are gonna talk about dictionaries. A dictionary is a data collection that store information by key. In most cases, dictionaries are more efficient than a list. A dictionary is an unordered collection, meaning elements are accessed by their key, not by index. Dictionaries work quite similar to a real-life dictionary. The words will be the keys, and the definitions will be the value saved. Another thing to know about dictionaries is that they are changeable collections. Let's begin by creating a dictionary. I will start with the variable name. Let's say city. We will use curly braces, in this case. Then the key, with quotes around, colon. And the value, for instance, Moscow. And another key, like, country. And value, Russia. And population, and value 11.9. I don't need the quotes here, since this is a number. If I wanted to access a single value, say Russia, what I will do is, saying, city, dot, brackets, and country. And I get Russia. If I want to get the length, what I will do is, print, len, city. Just like the other data structures. If I wanted to add a new value, let's say, I want to add language. I will say, city, brackets, language, then equal, and Russia. And if I run that, I can see the new key pair. Pay attention here, terrestrial friend. If the new key doesn't exist in the dictionary, it will be added. However, if it already exists, then it will replace it. So say I do, city, brackets, language, and English. And run it. Russian was replaced by English. You can also delete elements in a dictionary using the del method. So I will say del, city, brackets, and country. If I run that, the country is now gone. And you can also use the pop method to delete items. So I can say city, dot, pop, and language. And I can see the language is gone now. To iterate over a dictionary, there are 3 methods we can use. You can iterate over the keys with a for loop. So I will say for key in city and the keys method. That will return a list with all dictionary keys. If I run this, you can see all the keys, which are name and population. I can iterate over the values as well, using the values method. So I will say for value in city and call the values method. And that will display Moscow and 11.9. I can also iterate over both keys and values using the items method. Saying for key, comma, value in city and the items method. This will use unpacking. And I will print both key and value. And now I can see all the dictionary items, both keys and values. Note that I need to use the str method, because one of the fields is a number. Those are the most popular dictionary methods that you will use quite often. Time to check your understanding. Try this exercise. Make an English to French dictionary with 3 words and print it out. See the solution in the description, in case you need some help. Good news. Only one more data structure left to finish. The last data structure I will show you is the set. A set is like a dictionary without the values. You used a set when you want to know if something exists. But nothing else. You can't save extra information. It's an unordered collection, like the dictionary. Changeable. And it doesn't allow duplicates. Let's begin by creating a set. First, the variable name. I will say animals, then curly braces, and dog, cat, lion, tiger, and if I run this, I can see the set. If I want to check if something exists in the set, I will say print fish in and animals. If I run this, the result is false. Fish is not in the animal set. If I wanted to add an element, I will use the add method. So I will say animals.add and eagle. And if I run this, the eagle was added. Say, I add dog. If I run this, the second dog was ignored, because duplicates are not allowed. If we want to remove the eagle, I will say, animal.remove eagle. And the eagle is now gone. And I can also iterate through the set with a for loop. Say, for animal, in animals, and print animal. And if I run this, all animals, dog, cat, lion, are printed out. These are some of the most handy methods. In case you would like to practice, I got another exercise for you. Given the following list, print out the number of duplicates in the list. Something interesting to know is that you can also combine these data structures and create more complex data types. You could create a list of dictionaries. For example, a city list, each city being a dictionary, or a list of lists. You can combine these structures in any way you like. These are the most commonly used data structures in Python. These data structures will help you manage data easily, and also get more fluent in Python, my favorite language. If you enjoy my Pythonic tutorial, make sure you subscribe to the channel, so we stay in touch. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. I will see you in another Pythonic tutorial.